Hello, it's Tyzzit here. Sorry for the long awaited video. I haven't uploaded in a while because it's just a bad habit of mine of like trying to do something and then just other things come up. I like to have a busy life, helping people out and all that kind of stuff. Herbaceous.
Herbaceous.
So the best way to achieve
cool. I
change
said it right
to
the
make
first time.
a small
It's
change.
not your favorite band, then you're wrong.
To edit
Let's
took that
so
to
hard
get
for those
into
other three
if
pillars.
it's not your
intro.
favorite band, then you're wrong. But I'm making this video, and as you could probably tell from the title,
I love
and
being
this is
different.
an
My uncle
unneeded
told me
explanation, but I'm going to give it anyway. This is going to be the baseline for a testimony. The baseline of what I'm going to talk about is what makes a person a person. Big picture elements make up a person. What's their driving factors? What they find most important, and how they get influenced. Through my testimonies, what I'm basing this off of, and how I'm going to present it. In addition to that, there's going to be something that helped me out way more than anything else aside from the Bible and prayer life. A little bit about me first. I overthink everything. The only thing I don't overthink in the moment is video games and movies and TV shows. TV shows and movies are less overthinking. I mean, I sometimes do overthink during those, but video games, especially if it's an entertaining video game that kind of distracts my mind, it's just a nice reprieve from like going Mach 2 with your hair on fire, as my mom says, or running around like a chicken with your head cut off, all that kind of stuff. I was in the military when they were changing all these things over and focusing on how are we going to help each individual person in the military be the best person they can be so that they can contribute to the success of the mission. What actually makes a person a person? That's pretty much the overall picture of this. And I actually really agree with that philosophy. So that's why I'm going to present it like this. So we have 4 pillars. The least amount of stress on all of these pillars, the better off you'll be, which is why that's kind of a stress point. We have the spiritual pillar, which is where your beliefs come from, what you believe in, and how that affects you. Then we have the mental pillar, like how you think through things or making sure that you're mentally stable. For me, I overthink everything. So if I'm overthinking too much or like too negatively, then I go down, basically spiral down into like everything is negative kind of aspect. So that's what it is, just like the mental health aspect or like the depression. If you're depressed, then that's bad and we need help to get there. That was me, by the way. So we have the mental, and then we have the emotional, which is like how are your relationships doing? How much stress are those relationships currently placing on you? Is all your relationships okay? And then the last one, pillar number 4, is physical. I'm already good with spiritual, mental, and emotional pillars, and I need to be working on the physical aspect of it. As you can tell from my double chin, I'm kind of fat. I'm going to explain what happened to let me be successful within the first 3 pillars that I mentioned: spiritual, mental, emotional, while I also go through the journey, and you can watch, of the last pillar. I'm going to actually do in a series of videos while I tell you about my success in the other 3. One of the biggest contributing factors, besides my faith and the cornerstone that is Jesus Christ, I think in movie quotes and lyrics. So if anything correlates to or resonates with me, it automatically becomes a part of my thought process. So music is one of my biggest downfalls that unbalances my mental pillar, unbalances my emotional pillar, unbalances my spiritual pillar. Because of that, I have to listen to the better music I can listen to, the better off I'll be. And the band that has contributed the most to that, which is my favorite band of all time, and if it's not your favorite band, then you're wrong, is Skillet. So if Skillet is not your favorite band, then you're wrong. Again, that's subjective, but I'm making an objective statement because Skillet's music, whenever they release a new album, that album at the time that it was released has spoken to me in such a way that it influenced my life for the better. And at one point, and I say one point, it's not like one day, like one moment in one day. Like one point, I'm using that broad term of being over months and actual years of time. Their music prevented me from committing suicide, and that's why I'm making these videos to help you out for the stuff that I experienced. And for y'all to help me out with getting that fourth pillar down. Every time I do this, it kind of makes me feel like growing up, instead of the middle finger, because it's bad, my parents kind of made a joke about it. Well, my mom did. Here's a rubber hose going up your nose. And it just brought a comedy aspect to maybe a tense situation. And that actually explains a lot. I incorporated that into my life. I kind of use humor, as you'll see throughout the rest of these videos, that I use humor as a way to bring across real points. Comedy is tragedy plus time. And not saying that my life is comedy, but if you can joke about a topic that has caused you pain and that was really hard to talk about, and you can now joke about it, then you've healed from it and you've learned from it. Hopefully you've learned from it. Since I really started listening to him when album Comatose came out, I actually went back and listened to the majority of their other music. I haven't listened to every song, just because when they switch out members or a new member comes on board, then their music style changes a little bit. Their Invincible album is when they had like an electronic kind of sound. Alien Youth, they kind of carried that over, but kind of started to shift a little bit more towards rock. And then their Collide album came out, and that's when they're kind of in that same genre now. So their Collide album came out in 2003, so 18 years ago. They're still kind of in that rock path, although they have added some stuff, and they do sound a little bit different on each album, but it's still mainly that rock. And that's what I like. I like the rock music. Skillet Discography, a while ago, somebody said that the albums Collide, which is the first one in this series, I don't remember exactly what it's called. I try to look for the name for it, but the only thing I could come up with is a concept album, and that's not what this is. A concept album is a single album that lists, or that has songs that tell a story about the same thing. Like song 1 is the first page or the first chapter in a book, then song 2 is the second chapter, then so on and so forth. But what this is one album is like the chapter 1, then the second album's chapter 2, and so on and so forth. So I don't remember what that's called. Somebody pointed out, I can't give credit for it. I don't recall. I can't find the information. Otherwise, I'd give them credit. So Collide, and we're only talking about their studio albums. So Collide, there's a collision, and then you go into Comatose because of the collision. And once you're in Comatose, you become awake, which is the third one, and you can't ever wake up without Comatose. So you become awake, and then you rise, then you become unleashed. That's kind of a beast of itself. To become unleashed, to become victorious. That's kind of the way that it's gone. But I'm going to argue that every studio album that Skillet has is telling one story. And this kind of starts with the formation of the band. And I've heard John Cooper talk about this, which is the lead singer and bassist and the only original member left in the band, on a couple of different occasions. That when Skillet formed, the original members were all a part of different bands, but they all went to the same church. They had a meeting with their pastor, and their pastor was like, we're going to have, and I'm sorry if I don't get all the details right, I'm doing this strictly from memory. The pastor is like, hey, you'd be really good, or you three from different bands would be really great in this one band, and you guys should form this band together, and you should name it Skillet, because you are all different ingredients coming together in a skillet to make something fantastic. As John Cooper puts it, oh man, this is such a stupid name. This band isn't going to last 2 weeks, whatever, I'll roll with it. And then here he is, 25 years later, stuck with a stupid name. I think it's fantastic and it's great. You have a Skillet that comes together, and it's their first album is self-titled. It's just Skillet. The creation process, God puts the different ingredients that he wants to make up, like puts different personality traits in you and gives you different abilities in a skillet. And then once that's finished and he's done with that, it's, hey, you, I love your soul. He loves all of us the same, and he wants us to choose to love him. And that's the biggest question for each individual, is if we're going to choose to love God and sacrifice our wants and desires for his will. There's always a point in people's lives, even if it's just for a brief moment, where you feel invincible, which is their third album. Whether that's during our adolescence or our teenage years, which typically it's teenage years, maybe a little bit later. There's also a point in our lives where we feel alienated, where we feel like people don't get it. Typically that's during puberty or maybe even after, just because you're different than what everybody else wants you to think or what everybody else is. Alien Youth, fourth album. Then after that, typically later in life, we all go through a collision of some sort, whether it's a car accident or life circumstances, which for me it's life circumstances, and I'll get to it later, that causes you to go into a comatose state. So collide, comatose state where maybe one of your pillars have got knocked down, or more pillars, all of them, more pillars got knocked down, to where you're just like out of it. You're not thinking. You need to have something to help you come along. Then you have awake. You wake up from your comatose. Then you also have to rise. So you have you're formed in a skillet. Hey you, I love your soul. We feel like we're invincible. Which is kind of funny because it's a song on a later album, Feel Invincible. But we do feel invincible at times. We're alienated in our youth, alien youth. Then there's collide, comatose, awake, rise. So you're rising up, getting your bearings and understanding your surroundings. And then you have unleashed, and then victorious. Like unleashed, you're taking care of business. You're hammering away at everything. You're creating a better life for yourself. And victorious is you've overcome the obstacles of that collision that you had. You've overcome it. You can start teaching other people. You can help other people out that has been through similar things. That's why God allows Christians to go through these things. That is their discography. It's all one story. It is. It really is. And I'm happy about it. I hope they feel the same. If they ever watch this video, brief overview about myself. Born into a Christian family. My parents made us go to church every Sunday. As a kid under the age of 10-ish, I always had to wear a polo at a minimum. I hated it. I really hated it because t-shirts are amazing and they're super comfortable. I'm wearing a t-shirt right now. OG Pokemon. My father was in the World Trade Center Building 2 when he got hit on September 11th, 2001. That caused issues. Later that year, on picture day, when I was in 6th grade, I ran away. My parents found me later that night. I'm really happy they did. I don't even know why I ran away anymore, but I did. I ran away because I didn't like life at home, or my friends had life better, and my parents were too strict or overbearing or whatever, but I appreciate that now. And I say overbearing because they had rules, and as long as we followed the rules, we had a fun time. We had game nights all the time. My parents let us, my sister and I, play in sports pretty much year round. We were in sports. We were always doing stuff. We always cared about family. So I really have no idea why I ran away, but I did. They found me. I wanted to run away, never say goodbye. Yay. So ran away. Shortly thereafter, there was a Veggie Rocks album that came out, which is Veggie Tales, which are Christian stories in computer-generated veggies, and each is a certain character: Bob the Tomato, Larry the Cucumber, Junior the Asparagus, like all these different characters. One of the songs that they have is called Stand. Stand up for what you believe in. Anyway, I'm probably a bad singer because I'm nervous about it, and I feel like I'm a great singer in my car, like everybody, or in the shower. But when people start listening, the nervousness starts up. But that's okay. I'm not a singer. I'll leave that to other people. Rebecca St. James did the VeggieTales theme song, which I think is very well done. Reliant K did The Pirates Who Don't Do Anything, which is my favorite VeggieTales song ever. But Stand was done by Skillet, and if you haven't heard that song, you should go find it. It is a great song. Around that same time, my music taste matured from kid poppy music, this is awesome, to actually me liking and preferring hard rock style of music. Senior year of high school rolls around. My girlfriend at the time takes me to a Winter Jam tour. I think it was Winter Jam. It was around winter time. Snowed that night. We went to go see Skillet in Colorado Springs. I saw Skillet. That was amazing. And they weren't the headliner. They leave stage. Barlow Girl comes on. And one of the songs on Barlow Girl, Corey Cooper comes out and just starts rocking with them. It was awesome. Like, such a good show. In a very, very well-lit arena. I joined the military. The next time I see Skillet is in Abilene, Texas. A year and a half after that show, I met a woman. We ended up getting married. Less than a year later, getting divorced. It's my fault for being stupid. I take pretty much all responsibility for that. This is funny to look back on. Horrible when this situation happens, but funny to look back on. And this is how you know you have a true friend. When on a retreat with your church that you're a leader for, he says, oh, and she wasn't a believer. She, to my knowledge, she still isn't. I have no contact with her. My friend told me on the last day that we were there, word for word, you know she's not good for you, right? And my exact response, yes, but I'm going to do it anyway. Was going through my head, there's really two roads in life, the easy way or the hard way. And at that time, I was like, sometimes you have to experience things the hard way. Unfortunately, that's where my mind was at. But without my mind being there at that moment, I wouldn't be here today where I'm at now. People should respect the decision of that, because when somebody has that mindset that I did, yes, I know it's bad for me, but I'm going to do it anyway. Means I'm not listening to reason. Nobody can say anything to me that's going to convince me otherwise. I already know what's right and wrong. Like, there's nothing else that can change. God can't do it because he'd be interfering with my free will. The only thing that God can do is like, hey, you really shouldn't do this. And that was my buddy telling me, that was God saying you really shouldn't do this, but I did it anyway. 2 years after that, or after my divorce with her, I actually married somebody else. During our dating time, for my second wife, I talked to her many times about what I thought was a core concept. One of my life philosophies: open, honest, loving communication is a key to every successful relationship. I ask a question, I would like an honest answer. And that's what happened, I thought. It seemed like she was telling the truth. She probably was telling the truth at the time and changed her mind later. I don't know what was going on. But these are the guidelines. These are the red flags. Oh, you passed all the red flags. You have no red flags. Red flags are, for example, kids from multiple fathers. I will not date any woman who has kids from multiple fathers. That's just me. I'd be on my third marriage. I need every chance I can to make that marriage successful. And kids from multiple dads drops that chance down drastically. So I know what I want. I know what I'm looking for. During that time period too, I know exactly what I was looking for. I knew red flags. I knew things that I wanted, like this person had to have. I knew things that I wanted them to have. We had to have interests we had enough interests together that we enjoyed, and then we also had our own individual interests. So we had, like, she passed all of that. Key differences real quick between first and second marriage. First marriage, everybody was like, you shouldn't do it. And I was like, I'm going to do it. And second marriage, I was like, okay, I really want your opinion. Is this okay? Here's the factors that are making me kind of question it a little bit, but I want to make sure that I'm doing this correctly because I don't want to go through what I did before. Nobody that was at a seat on my table to speak life into me or to mentor me said it's a bad idea. They all were like, this is good. We have no problems with it. Y'all are a good couple. So first marriage, I didn't listen to anybody. Second marriage, I listened to everybody. I had a seat at the table. Fast forward, some stuff happens. End up getting divorced again. That divorce hit me harder than my first one. The first one I thought was a nightmare. That was just a bad dream in comparison to my second marriage. They're both bad. My second wife and I got divorced. It was right after my 25th birthday, right before Christmas. It sucked. Like that period sucked. I was actually stationed in Fairbanks, Alaska, and like we just moved up there. In Alaska, divorced, don't really know anybody. Nobody up there really has the authority to speak life into me. I still had friendships that I could call, that I could rely on. My mom, my dad, two of my best friends. Well, actually, all of my best friends, but two in particular. And I'll get into more detail later. This is big picture overview. Hopefully, I'm not giving too much detail away. That led me into a season of depression that required me to get depression medication a couple years later to get a handle on my depression, so I can handle all of the baggage, the hurt from that, and build myself back up. Because at that time, all 4 of my pillars got knocked down. And that's when I started gaining a lot of weight, more so than I had. I gained like 40 pounds in a 6-month period immediately after. Got out of the military, gained some more weight, and I have to deal with that now. And that's what I'm trying to deal with now, after I have the other 3 pillars pretty established. I'm off depression medication. I only took it for about 6 months. And that's kind of where I'm at today. Now that I do have my spiritual, my mental, and emotional pillars firm, I need to start working on my 4th pillar. And that's what we're going to be doing. So today is day 1. I haven't done any research. So the things that I want to do research on are diet and exercise with the limitations. So here's my current mindset for diet, or food in general. Not diet like I'm losing weight diet, but diet as in what I'm currently eating. Pizza is my favorite food group. That's probably never going to change. Underneath that is breakfast food. So it's pizza, breakfast, Mexican, and Chinese food. American's a little bit further down. That's kind of my mindset right now for food. Exercise, I'm not really doing much at all. I'm at work. I do a lot of walking around. I do a lot of sitting. I work in IT. I don't really do that much exercise. I like to play video games, as I mentioned before. I play video games with friends. I make the friendships through there. If someone comes up to you randomly and says, "Hey, you shouldn't do this," you're like, okay, whatever. I don't even know you. You're not a cop. You're not an authority figure. You're just some random dude on the street that I met. And I didn't even meet you. You just came up and started telling me that I'm wrong in doing something. Are you going to listen? Probably not. I wouldn't listen. I'd be like, okay, cool, whatever. Go away now. The most effective way is to become friends. Be friendly. One of the games that I play is League of Legends. It's a very toxic community, but the people I play with are pretty cool. There's one person in particular. We've been playing a lot of ranked, so we're ranking up, or attempting to rank up, in League of Legends. During one of our conversations, it just so happened to come up. She said, "Man, I really miss playing Dungeons and Dragons. We just, with COVID going on, we just have, like, our sessions pretty much stopped." And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up. You play Dungeons and Dragons? I love playing Dungeons and Dragons. This is amazing. My current group is made up of 3 people, me and a couple. And the wife of the couple I've known at this point for 11 years. The husband I've known for about 5 years. And we've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for a long time with other people. But our group is kind of narrowed down to just us 3. So we've been looking for other people to play with. We've been playing with online Dungeons and Dragons. We've had Zoom set up, and we use tools that we come on. So I'm like, this is going to be a great time. If you like playing Dungeons and Dragons, we're about to start a new campaign, which is a new game. Each game lasts multiple sessions. Think of Monopoly, how long it takes you to play a game of Monopoly. Going around the board one time would be considered a session in Dungeons and Dragons. But each one of those sessions takes the time that it takes a normal game of Monopoly. And how many times in Monopoly do you go around and around before the game is over? The sessions go on for a long time, depending on what the players want. We started playing, and it's fantastic. So because we built a rapport playing League of Legends, through that, I found out that we have more similarities. Because we play that, we get to know each other a little bit more. And I've actually had conversations, not just with her, but with other people that I've played with, about what's right, what's wrong, talking about Jesus. I haven't led anyone to Christ through that yet, but the seeds are planted. I've been able to do that because we have that rapport. I don't know why I went on that tangent, but there it is. Oh yeah, we were talking about food. Food and the hierarchy of what I currently have. and no exercises place that I work with, and that. I really don't know how I got started on that tangent, but I will know when I edit this video. Now, exercise is kind of null and void, so I'm going to research some of that too. My goals for eating healthy, besides losing weight and starting to feel better overall, like feel better physically, I'm probably going to go out on another tangent, and I kind of apologize up front, but not really, because I overthink everything, like I said before. I really don't like acne. Acne is the devil's daughter. If the devil had a daughter, its name would be Acne. Acne is garbage. I hate it. I hate acne so much. I think I got acne when I was like 11 or 12. Like, was my first zit. And there's never been a period in my life where there's been no acne on my body. During puberty, I got it real bad on my face. I actually have scars here and on this side from acne. Right here was pretty bad. I know this is kind of probably going a little bit too deep, but I'm being real. I had acne all over my chest and on my back, and then sometimes my legs. Like, not like bad, just like the one or two everywhere else besides my chest, back, and face. And I thought acne was only supposed to be present during puberty. But then again, I guess I'm still kind of in it because I still can't grow a full beard yet, and that's still coming in. I don't know if that's part of puberty or whatever. But whatever the case may be, that was a weird tangent to go on. Or a weird thing to say. Okay, so acne now, for me, I'm 31 now. So almost 20 years later, to still be dealing with acne, right here, prime example, right there, that blemish, that hurts. That's one of those zits that you're like, hey, something's building up here, but it's not gonna, like, you can't get rid of it at all because it's underneath the skin too much and it's building up. I want to say it's like Mount St. Helens when that exploded back in like the 80 or 1920s or whenever it was. I don't remember. And I don't want to look it up right now. I don't care that much. But everyone knows Mount St. Helens blew sometime recently, like a while ago, and it destroyed quite a bit of land, and then it's been dormant for a while again. So these kind of zits are like Mount St. Helens, like, oh look, the landscape hasn't changed. Oh look, the landscape hasn't changed. But it's building up and building up underneath the skin or underneath the crust of the earth. And then just one day it's just gonna explode. That's what this kind of zit is. It like builds up, and then you want, like, it hurts, and you go to like wash your face or shave or wash your hair or whatever. You barely touch it, and you're like, ow, this is really painful. Let me try and get rid of that. Oh wait, I can't. And then a scab forms and it drains a little bit, and it's still there, and it still hurts, and you still know that it's building up more pressure and more pressure and more pressure. So it's better just to leave it alone. But you're not going to leave it alone because it hurts and you don't like it being uncomfortable, especially right there on your face where you touch everything or lean on it or whatever and accidentally touch it, and you don't realize how much you touched that spot because it didn't hurt before, but now that it hurts, everything is so oversensitive, and you touch it and it hurts, and you're like, oh my gosh, just get rid of it, but I can't. Yes, welcome to my mind of overthinking. I did not know I was going to go out on a tangent. Anyway, so acne is present still. I have, like, not in the same spots. I get some still on my chest. I get some on my face occasionally. Normally it's down in here in my beard, neck beard, probably here. I have some here constantly, not constantly, but regularly, I should say. Same over here. Nothing helps though. The cream and the wash, zit cream, acne cream, that kind of stuff doesn't really work. I've given up hope on that. My goals for eating healthy, besides losing weight and starting to feel better overall, like feel better physically, is acne. Acne needs to go away because, again, it's the devil's daughter. I hate it. Ugh. So weight loss is the primary goal. Acne, to get rid of it or minimize it, would be fantastic. So we're going to research that. Exercise goals, low impact, high intensity, or cardio stuff. So like I'm thinking like elliptical or a stationary bike. And I'm thinking more stationary bike because I hate exercising to a passion. I need to be distracted doing something. So if I'm riding a bike, I can watch TV or play video games while I'm doing that. Elliptical, I can't really I could watch TV, but I can't really play video games. I want to have that option, and I want to maximize the money that I invest and the time that I invest to something that I would actually do and use. Otherwise, it's a waste. I'm talking about efficiency. Scrooge McDuck. He tells a story to Huey, Dewey, and Louie in the original run of DuckTales of his grandfather coming over from the Mayflower, or coming over on the Mayflower, the Duck Flower, whatever they call it in DuckTales. He was shoveling coal. He needs to shovel a lot of coal. Instead of shoveling and working harder by physically shoveling more into it, he actually starts working smarter and not harder, and he ends up putting a bike with the chain having shovels. Work smarter, not harder. So he has this scoops on a bicycle chain instead of the full motion of digging down, scooping up some coal and throwing it into the furnace and then repeating it. That takes way more effort. That's why this is pretty important. I'm all about efficiency. Efficiency is key. I love being efficient. So efficiency is key, and I like to stay busy. I am rambling and I am scatterbrained right now. I don't have notes or guidelines, but I have a plan in my head. I'm going to do research on my diet, acne diet, to get rid of acne and weight loss. That's for that. And then I'm also going to look at the bike. I'm going to type everything out here. I don't know anything about acne diets or anything, so I'm just diet eliminating acne. Not all acne is the same. Which foods might help improve acne? Okay, so this is my mind overthinking. So when we talk about improve acne, are we talking about acne is going to be more severe or help reduce the amount of acne you have? So fish, I like salmon. Salmon's pretty good. Pastured eggs. I need to make sure that I get pastured eggs. I do not like the soybeans or soy products. Spinach, I don't want to be like Popeye. Kale needs to be scraped in the trash. Nuts, walnuts, almonds, flax seeds. This almost sounds like a keto diet. More research is needed, but diet may play a whole role in this. When was this article made? 2018. I want something newer. Anti-acne diet. Now this makes more sense than that. Than this right here. This, it doesn't make nearly as much sense as anti-acne diet. Acne is a skin condition that causes different kinds of bumps to form on the surface of the skin. These bumps include whiteheads, blackheads, and pimples. Acne occurs when, okay, so that's just an overview of that. Acne, the neck, back, shoulders, that's all of mine where I have it. What causes acne? Okay, how does diet affect skin? Cool. One thing that can affect your skin is diet. Well, that makes sense because diet, like whatever you eat or intake, fuels your body to do whatever it is, to store fat, to produce energy, to how your skin looks. That's why, like, if you take a dog, for example, I have a puppy. It's a pit bull. Probably pictured here sometime, I don't know. With animals, when you change their diet, there's like the high skin or high fur or glossy fur kind of thing. So that changes their diet. So if it works in them, it can work in us. Diet can affect a lot of different things. It can affect the way that you think, the amount of energy that you have, it can affect all these different things. So acne should be one of them. So that's why I'm thinking that there's something about it, and I feel like I'm on the right track. I don't know when this was written either. Let's see. Updated. It seems like it's the same thing, but it's still good to research to see if things have changed from then to now, because eggs were good, then bad, then good, then bad, then good, and then really good and essential, and then they were anti-essential, and then all this other stuff happened, and that was in the course of like 8 months or something. I don't know if that's accurate, but it was ridiculously fast like that. So it's good to compare things that worked back in the day or were theorized back in the day and have worked more. So I'm gonna get this here. When your blood sugar rises quickly, it causes the blood to increase a hormone called insulin. Having excess insulin in your blood can cause your oil glands to produce more oil, increasing your skin of acne. Wow, I said increasing your skin of acne, and it should be increasing your risks of acne. Some foods that trigger spikes in insulin include pasta, white rice, white bread, and sugar. I try to get wheat bread. Because of the insulin producing effects, these foods are considered high glycemic carbohydrates. That means they're made of simple sugars. Chocolate is also believed to worsen acne, but it doesn't seem to affect all people, according to a study published in the journal. Other researchers have studied the connections between a so-called Western diet or standard American diet of acne. This kind of diet is based heavily on high glycemic carbohydrates, dairy, saturated fats, trans fats. What foods are believed to help your skin? Whole grain legumes. I think it's a nut. Oh, peas. Whole grains, legumes, unprocessed fruits and vegetables. So fresh stuff that you get at your local grocery store. Foods containing following ingredients are also thought to be beneficial to the skin because they reduce inflammation. The minerals zinc, vitamin A and E, chemicals called antioxidants. Some skin-friendly food choices include yellow and orange fruits and vegetables such as carrots, apricots, and sweet potatoes. Okay, I like carrots. Apricots, if I'm no, I don't think I've ever had apricots. And if I have, I don't remember. And sweet potatoes are only good occasionally. Spinach and other dark green and leafy vegetables. Tomatoes, or tomatoes. If you like to talk to tomatoes. I don't like tomatoes. I love tomato byproducts though. Pizza can't be made without tomatoes. Spaghetti can't be made without tomatoes. Salsa, hot sauce, like ketchup, all these tomato byproducts can't be made without tomatoes because they're tomato byproducts. And I love them, but I hate tomatoes. Raw tomatoes, like, the only thing that I really like that's really heavily concentrated with tomatoes or has a very powerful tomato flavor is tomato soup, and it's only if I have grilled cheese. Blueberries, I like blueberries. Whole wheat bread, that's what I try to get, but I'll be more conscious of it now. Brown rice, quinoa, what's that? How to cook quinoa? What is it? Quinoa is a flowering plant of the amaranth family. I'm reading it over here. It is, ooh, what's that word? Herbaceous.
Herbaceous.
Wow, cool. Said it right the first time. Of denoting or relating to herbs. Annual plant grows as a crop primarily for its edible seeds. The seeds are rich in protein, dietary fiber, B vitamins, so multiple B vitamins, and dietary minerals. Cool. Turkey, pumpkin seeds, or continuing the list. Turkey, pumpkin seeds, beans, peas, and lentils, which is legumes, or beans are legumes. Salmon, mackerel, and other kinds of fatty fish, nuts. This really does seem like a keto diet. Bottom line. I read this in Stone Cold Steve Austin's voice, which I'm probably going to put here at the bottom line. And that's the bottom line. Anyway, moving on to ooh, this one's 2019. Can diet get rid of acne? What's this one? Can the right diet get out of low glycemic, which the other article also provided as a potential source. Where does this one? I want to try and find when it was references. What's the last reference they used? 2016, 2007. Looks like 2016 is the last reference they used. And that never worked for me. Using acne-friendly skincare and acne medication helps to prevent new breakouts. I'm pretty sure this article's kind of garbage. So it just tells you, like, hey, this diet may help. And then cow's milk may lead to acne breakouts. And then it gives you statistics of a couple things. So this kind of thing is more of informative of like, hey, this actually does like could help, but it doesn't give you any useful things within the article to help out like the other one did. It's like, hey, these may help, these may not help. Actually, it has some of the stuff here, but it's that's within this diet. Yeah, so that article is basically useless. How to get rid of my cystic acne. Cystic. Last updated. Okay. 20-year-old with. All right, that's background. That's pretty bad. I'm gonna close that. So yeah, so before my acne was never this bad over this big period, like this big surf. Well, maybe right here on my chest, like on my sternum, and but yeah, not that bad, not nearly that bad. Um, vegan. Unrefined starches became the cornerstone of my diet. Starches are low in fat, low in calories, and high in satiation, meaning they will make you feel full and satisfied. That's true, but I feel like it's also like Chinese food. Like you eat Chinese food and a lot of it, and you're like, oh man, I'm so full, and then like an hour and a half, 2 hours later, you're like, I'm so hungry, I'm gonna die. That's what bread typically does for me. Usually, I have to have bread and protein of sorts, but if you do have like plant-based foods being nuts and stuff, like whole grains, nuts, um and things, you can actually fill up on nuts and bread, and that would help. I think I've done that before. I avoided all oils. I avoided high fat plant foods. Oh, huh. So nuts, nut butters, I think peanut butter and almond butter. Oh, okay. I like how they put this in parentheses. Yeah, this is actually a pretty good article. Seeds, olives, coconuts, avocados, these foods get between 70 and 95% of their calories from fat. My skin personally didn't do well with all the fat. So this is a super restrictive diet. Only whole foods. I ate simply and repeated meals for long-term success. I love a variety of food, as you can tell from my list of food priorities. Pizza, breakfast, Mexican, Chinese, Italian, American. Like I love food. Food is life. That's why Jesus is the bread of life, because bread is found in every culture. Actually, it's probably found in every culture because he's the bread of life and needs to make that relevant. I don't know. Maybe I stumbled across something. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know if I read that somewhere or not. Um, but what I'm wow, another random tangent, I guess. But what I mean, what I can't do this. I hate repeated meals. Like some meals are good, and I really like the variety of having different styles of food and stuff. And I know there's different ways to cook things to make it better, and that's what I can do. Okay, so let's go here. Let's read this because it talks about my skin. After my skin has been cleared for a while, it seems like I was in onto something. So I wrote a book, my clear skin, or my clear the cleanse. Oh, wow, the clear skin diet with my sister to help other people suffering in the same way. I would never, or I would have never thought about a devastating skin breakout would lead to being able to help. Oh, that's actually really cool, because this is kind of what I want to do. Not necessarily with acne, but with my experiences, my negative experiences, and what I've learned to help other people through it. Man, people think alike. It's actually kind of encouraging. So actually, I'm going to copy and paste because I'm gonna look at this later. So I could have done that, or I could have just hit back and then open link a new tab. To eliminate acne, 10 simple strategies. It's video. I don't want to read it. I don't want to listen to a video. I'd rather read a list. I don't like how this page is scrolling either. I want to tell you from my own experience with acne, I never had it. That's it. Until I got sick with chronic fatigue syndrome. The way this page is scrolling, yeah, I don't want to look at that. The link between diet and acne, exactly what to eat and avoid for clear skin. Away. How certain foods can worsen your acne. I know certain foods can, and I know certain foods can help eliminate acne, but I'm looking for specifically, and that's what I want to do. Put your acne on a diet. And this, foods rich in zinc like kidney beans, pumpkin seeds, and spinach are anti-inflammatory in nature and can aid acne. Again, wording, and this is me being specific, and I'm kind of specific that way and need to be specific because of another life philosophy my dad taught me from one of the mentors that he had is say what you mean what you say, and mean business. So with that, how can you say what you mean if you don't have any accuracy and you're not, it can aid acne? Is it going to be on its acne side, or is it going to help me eliminate acne? Healthier gut. What is that word? Search Google. Is the genetic material of all the microbes, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and viruses that live on inside the human body. Okay. So probiotic foods like kimchi, miso. This seems like it's heavily influenced by Japanese culture because miso is from oh, that's sauerkraut. That's like German. What's kimchi though? Oh yeah, chopsticks. Kimchi is a staple in Korean cuisine. Traditional side dish of salted and fermented vegetables. Oh, I mean, that could actually be really good. That actually does look pretty good. I'm gonna keep that open too. Other foods that have been studied and are recommended for blemish banishers. Instead of blemish banisters. Citrus like oranges, grapefruits, lemons, limes, tropical fruits. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go like this. And I'm gonna copy this, open up a notepad. Okay, so that's where I actually have my notebook on the page too, so I can get back to it real quick. Avocados. Wait, hold on. Vitamin C in the building block of collagen, which makes up the cellular scaffolding of skin, organ tissue, and vital body functions. There is no such thing as too much vitamin C, since you'll just pee it away. Aim for a whole orange or red pepper a day, or get it with your leafy greens. Vitamin C is your skin's building block. Okay, so I do need to make sure that I keep vitamin C rich in my body then. Avocados are high in healthy fats, and which seem to improve your skin. Getting enough of these fats is essential to keep your skin hydrated. This is part of like the testing trial thing that I have to do. Is if this does work, then fantastic. I don't need to worry about it. I'm just tired of dealing with acne as a whole. What to eat to remove pimples? Yellow and orange fruit. Oh, I guess I could just do this. Put this on my list too, and bam, there we go. I'm just making sure that y'all can read this too down here. Kale, gross. Sweet potatoes, already have. Lemon, already noted. Pumpkin, already noted. I love me some pumpkin pie. But for some reason, I have a feeling that that's not gonna, I can't just continuously eat pumpkin pie because one, I like variety, and two, I'll probably get just fatter. And I don't want to do that. Berries. Legumes. Salmon. It looks like I already have a good list of foods I should and shouldn't eat to have to increase better skincare. And it also seems like it's part of a keto diet or another diet that I've heard of. I'm not sure if it's keto specifically. I doubt it because you could still have bread, it looks like, to be able to help. So I'm going to look at different ways to eat fish or cook fish. I've done some research on it, as you could see. I am, oh, dang, an hour and 30-minute video. Dang. Oh, well. So I've updated all my stuff. Blah. So that's going to be it for today. Already, I have the notes down. I have the windows open still and the tabs for food. I'm going to make a list. And then I'm going to order it and start working on that today. But I really do believe the best way to achieve change is making small changes. Small changes every now and then. So last week, I started eating salad for lunch. I think I only ate out or ate something other than a salad for my work one day. So this week, I'm going to try to keep my lunches Monday through Friday, soup and salad. I'll let you know how it goes. And then for dinner, I'm probably going to have some sort of salmon. And I'm going to try that, see how it works, and check back in with you hopefully in about a week. I'm going to try my best to actually keep these videos up to date once a week. Thank you so much, and until the next video, continue to rock on, and check out Skillet if you don't know who they are. Below are going to be a couple of my favorite songs, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out, rock on, bros and broettes. I don't know why I keep saying that, but have a good week, and I'll catch you next time right here on this channel. Not cereal or oatmeal, but like bacon, eggs, omelets, sausage. Herbaceous.
Herbaceous.
Wow, cool. Said it right the first time. Breakfast burritos, French toast, pancakes. What makes a person? I was in the middle. The best way to achieve change is making small changes. Croissants, or I mean that's the French pronunciation, croissant. Or the English pronunciation or American pronunciation, croissant or croissants. The breakfast is waffles. Oh my gosh. I'm getting kind of hungry just thinking about it. Like English muffins, breakfast sandwiches, like all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and get into it. That's probably enough material to to edit around to get the description for the intro. But so and for me, I love being different. My uncle told me dare to be different, and I took that to heart. Those other three pillars